Yes. Hello, Julian. Thanks for this opportunity to tell my story. I've had tinnitus, chronic tinnitus, since January of 2019. That means there's never been a day where I am not suffering from it to some degree or another. And for the first 8 months, it was truly debilitating. Um, I believe it began through a combination of stress in my personal life, my professional life, um, and following some new medication I took, a new SSRI that I had never tried before. Within a week, I had minor vertigo, and my ears started to ring. It took about a month for it to begin ringing permanently on a ski vacation. Perhaps the altitude had something to do with it, I'm not sure. However, for the next 6 months after that, you know, my work productivity dropped at least 50%. Generally, I was, depressed and filled with anxiety. I pursued several specialists. I had 2 MRIs. Neither of the medical professionals, the specialists I saw, provided any useful insight at all. It was very disappointing. However, it wasn't until my summer vacation to the beach in California for a week, where I was maybe able to relax, that I started to feel some relief, and I finally had one good day. And I would just say that that one good day turns everything around, because up until then, you begin to question how you can actually survive for the remainder of your life with that kind of distraction in your head. I also learned, I'm a type 2 diabetic. I learned that my blood sugar was really out of control from all that stress. I was eating very poorly, and it occurred to me the first thing to do is to address any other medical problems you may have and have been ignoring. So I immediately cleaned up my diet over the next 6 months, obviously carbohydrates. But from everything I learned through my own research, I began to also limit sodium intake. And I began to eat a lot more fresh greens as a part of my diet every day. And I can tell you, it took me a few months for that to implement that fully, but by Christmas time, 2019, you have to excuse me, that's my coffee maker. You'll have to, I'm sorry, by Christmas 2019, I started to have more and more and more relief, you know, 1 or 2 good days a week, and it just began to improve from there as I addressed my diet as well as my exercise regime and began to take better care of my health in general. After my physical year ended for my business, I worked for myself, I began to look for ways to eliminate stress. I actually took a couple months where I didn't put any pressure on myself in my business. I still had to show up every day, but I just took it easy. And then I began to change the way that I worked every day, eliminating, stress-producing partners and things like that I had worked with. And it's what I learned is that it's really a choice. I had been putting off many things in my life. In our middle life, we're so caught up in family and in work that we never take the time to stop and think about, where is the stress coming from? We feel like we don't have a choice. And I finally took that time. The year before, I wasn't in a position where I could afford that, or in a place in time and for my business to afford that. And but really, you realize with chronic tinnitus that you have no choice. If you're in a bad relationship, if you're in a bad partnership, if you have a bad job, it's no longer, you can no longer put it off. You have to start making changes and fixing the problems in your life and somehow leading a less stressful life. That's the number one thing, as well as taking time out every day to exercise, to meditate, and trying as hard as you can to eat healthy. and eat fresh, lots of fresh greens, reduce your sodium, reduce your carbohydrates, and generally, try to live right. And I can tell you that every month has gotten better this year. I've had it for close to 20 months now, or 21 months. I still have it every day. If I make a mistake and have too much of a good time, at the wineries or something like that, I'm going to pay for it the next couple days. But generally speaking, getting my life in order, getting my health in order, getting my business in order, and waking up every day trying to live a less stressful life has allowed me to enjoy life again. And I heard a quote one time that I read when I first got tinnitus saying, when it's at its worst and you're feeling at your worst and you feel like your life's a 1 out of 10, that it may never feel like a 10 again, but I promise you, you will feel like a 7 or an 8 or possibly even a 9 again if you just focus on living a better life, the best that you can, and not making excuses in work or personal life, not to address that. So I wish everyone good health and to try to stay positive. That is the key. And God bless everybody. Thank you.